You?
Name's Kevin Dawson, but everybody calls me Tiny.
How long you've been doing this, Tiny?
47 years.
47?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
I'm 56 years old, and the first event I ever went to was Sailors Creek in 1978.
So you've been doing it since you were a kid?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me about that grandfather story you were just telling me about.
We were at Sailors Creek yesterday, and a man came up and asked a question, I think, about, how far the cannons could fire. And that was about, the interest that he had in asking questions. And I said, well, that's what we're here for. We want to, help anybody learn. We want to teach, about the history so it doesn't get forgotten. And he said, hang on a second. And he went and grabbed 6 or 7 children. I think the oldest was probably about 7 or 8. And very intelligent questions. And they were asking questions. And by the end of talking with us, about 45 minutes later, maybe an hour, those kids, I was just so impressed with how eager they were to learn. And by the end of it all, they knew history. They understood that it wasn't just a cannon to climb on.
Let me ask you this: if you had I'm not really sure why I'm doing it. I just love history, especially Virginia history. What would you say as far as like the reenacting, or if you have a message about history? And again, you just were telling me you got your master's degree in history at where?
Yes, sir, Virginia Tech.
What year?
2016.
Okay.
So it's never too late.
Yeah. So what would you say as far as if you had you want to make a statement?
I think that all throughout history, there's been good history and there's been bad history. Bad things have happened. It's very unfortunate that these bad things happened. Slavery was just an abomination. However, it's still part of our history. We need to remember all of our history and don't gloss over, certain aspects of it. And I believe that all history is important.
Well, and he's saying here that you're the toughest guy here.
I would agree with him. He's the toughest guy here.
Okay.
Because, anybody that would go through what he's gone through in their life would be able to.
Well, I appreciate what you guys are doing, seriously. And I'm wishing there were more.
Thank you
Well
so
said,
much.
sir. And
I appreciate it.
thank you very
so
much.